So 18 months ago, we started Curio Learning. And before that, for 13 years, I was a badass English teacher. Kentucky Teacher of the Year, in case anybody's asking. And along the way, in true English teacher fashion, over the past 18 months, trying to figure out this whole founder thing, I've read book after book about business and technology and organizational psychology as much as I can absorb. And those thousands and thousands of pages have done one thing for me, which is create this gnawing, nagging, life-consuming realization that teachers need Curio and they need a movement like Teach Like a Rebel. In one of those books, Seth Godin says, you don't start a movement. There's a difference between telling people what to do and inciting a movement, okay? Lots of companies out there are telling teachers what to do. Use this canned curriculum, teach this lesson this way, collaborate just with these people. But what company out there is inspiring them to be creative and to be their best selves? You're not going to change education in case you do. Case in point, a student from my first year of teaching, Ulysses. Ulysses' home life was a wreck. He was a member of the Latino gang, the Latin Kings. And he sat in the corner of my room and he drew graffiti. And come October, he was failing my class. And I was so frustrated with Ulysses. One night I went home and I Googled all night long as much as I could about graffiti. I wanted to know about social justice issues and Banksy, and I spent all night creating a project just for him. And I went to the classroom the next day and I presented him with it. And the look on his face, I will never forget. He half smiled and he did that project and he made that graffiti wall and he worked for me for the rest of the year and he passed my class and went on to college. That can't happen unless we're inspiring teachers. So, meanwhile, educators are doing stuff like that all night long, alone in their living room, trying to be their best selves, and then they have to hit the pause button on that and go sit in a boring professional development workshop that is extremely far removed from the Ulysses in their class and the work that they're doing to be better for them. And admin aren't the bad guys. Admin want good teachers in their building who can reach students like Ulysses, and they're doing the best they can to be able to measure and monitor and make those teachers as best as they can. But right now, even when that teacher is sitting alone in their classroom or alone in their living room trying to be better, it's still too complicated to find those Banksy ideas, curate them in a really visual way that's not an additional thing, an additional hoop I need to jump through, and then collaborate with other teachers. How much better would my graffiti wall project for Ulysses had been had I been able to talk to teachers in the meantime before I ever created it? And so Curio, we are looking to radically change the way that teachers are teaching lessons and the way that teachers get ideas and share them and collaborate around them. We are designed for educators to get creative both in and outside of the classroom because the classroom, what happens inside the classroom and the world at large, that line is blurred now more than ever. Teachers aren't necessarily going to textbooks. They're not. I can tell you, they're not going to textbooks for curriculum. They're looking online. They're finding things on Facebook and Twitter, and they're integrating that into their classroom for the real students in front of them. So at Curio, we are a beautiful, simple design because not only was I a kick-ass English teacher, but I was also one who really, really, really hated ed tech and still do. Sorry. And so we want to be able to the place where, as Seth Godin says, ideas spread in a movement by being relatable, by being easy, by people being able to discover and share and support each other through building those ideas. So in our app, teachers are at the forefront of what we do. They are the experts. And the more ideas that they create, the more creative ideas that they create and other people use, the higher they rise up into our platform. And they create ideas visually. It's a visual organizer. Teachers are curmudgeons. They're cranky. They're tired of ed tech. They're tired of having something else they have to learn and something else they have to do. So with Curio, we're agnostic. We fit into what teachers are already doing, and we make it simple and beautiful for them. They can create cards and stacks. So for me, when I found that cool article about Banksy that inspired me to make that lesson for Ulysses, I can then create it and I can build around it. It becomes a canvas as opposed to a step-by-step instruction manual. And then I can share, I can throw that idea out into the community and I can say, what could I do with this? How could I make this better for this student? So how do we make money? What are we going to do? Well, right now, $56 billion is being spent nationally on professional development. That doesn't even include tools and other educational resources. That is just professional development. That is $18,000 per teacher per year on professional development. And ask a teacher, it's a waste of money. They're throwing it away. So how are we going? We are asking for just a drop in the bucket. We want it to be free for teachers. You don't start a movement by putting up a boundary in the first place. We want teachers to get on the app, start using it, start creating content and sharing ideas. And then when they want to upgrade, they can do it for just $5 a month because we want them to be able to spread those ideas. And part of the beauty of Curio is getting those innovative teachers in there in the first place where they can create those lessons. And then for organizations like schools and districts and other ed orgs, they can purchase an enterprise model so that they can have everybody in their network working on Curio, working and sharing ideas within the platform itself. So you don't start a movement by thinking small. So we want to create an ecosystem of ed tech tools, starting with the Curio app, but building upon that so that over the next few years, we can gross $87 million. We have a diverse team. Half of them are educators. The other half are designers and financial experts and developers. We want to build. We don't just want to get teacher input. We don't want to just send out a survey and ask for their opinion. We want them a part of building. We want them to be empowered in this process of creating products that are designed around their needs. And we have a competitive advantage because we are teacher-driven and we're highly relevant to what teachers need in the classroom related to the students in front of them. So right now, we have a private beta with my colleagues of the other Teachers of the Year who are using the platform, creating material or creating lessons within it, creating content for us. And we're looking for partners who see our vision of empowering teachers to be more creative. So look, you're going to meet a lot of organizations this week. You're going to meet a lot of people, and they're going to tell you what they're doing. But can they tell you why they're doing it? I lived our why for 13 years, and I'm going to keep living our why as we build a Teach Like a Rebel movement that inspires teachers to not tell them what to do, but to inspire them to be better. Thank you.